welcome back to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And today is our second episode of our Spooky Ookie month. That's named
right.
it.
Spooky Ookie. I don't think I called it Spooky Ookie in our chapters 13 and 14 of New Moon. Sorry if you're coming from there.
So. Well, anyways, so yes, we are back. Today we're going to be talking about the Bell Witch.
Bell Witch. I don't think I know this one.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking the Blair Witch Project. That's not this, is it?
Mm-mm.
Never seen that movie.
I haven't either. So if it is a spinoff of that, I'm sorry. I know nothing about the Blair Witch. This is the Bell Witch.
Bell Witch. Slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get too deep into that, a reminder, you can find us on all 4 of our social medias, which are TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram. The handle for all 4 is at Chaos Chronicles Podcast, and that's Chronicles with an S. We would very much appreciate a like and subscribe.
Yes. All right. So something a little more fun for the rest of our Spooky Ookie month. After I got done taking my notes on all of these topics, I threw it into ChatGPT and told it to tell my notes like a spooky story.
Ooh, we're going to have I'm reacting with y'all, by the way. Jess is amazing right now, and she is carrying this podcast in between the editing. She's also doing all of our case files and everything while I am just unfortunately not available to do it. So you should really leave a comment thanking Jess for her hard work on everything. That would be really appreciated.
Well, it's been fun, and I had so much fun reading this as ChatGPT spit it out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
So, all right. And I also had it write introductions for each one of them too. So it's a little getting into the mood a little bit.
All right. And if you are watching on YouTube, you can see that we are already a little bit in the mood. We got our pumpkins, we got our ghosts,
I don't think you can see lights.
I'm trying to show the pumpkin and the cat behind me.
I don't think they can see them, but maybe they did. I don't know.
Well, there's some spooky lights, and we got spooky stuff, and there might be a ghost named Ted here, but
Ted's leaving us alone tonight. Thank you, Ted.
Please
continue.
I got Google here. I can Google the Lord's Prayer. Don't test me.
But yeah. So Ted is the ghost haunting my house essentially. Oh yeah. If you're just here for our Wednesdays, we are in a different location.
That's right.
So we are at my house. It just kind of works a little bit better with both of our schedules right now. We kind of are both down in this area during the day, during the week, so makes it a little easier. So I know we're gonna go back to Connie's eventually.
We're going to get our way there for now. We're in this old home, which we've talked about in a few other episodes. Yeah. And if Ted appears in the background, don't leave a comment. Don't tell us.
I don't want to know. Nope.
I don't want to know.
Nope. But so far, he's been good today.
Good. That's good.
Thank you, Ted. Please keep it up.
Thank you.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
As the shadows lengthen and the chill in the air deepens, we're ready to unravel one of the most haunting tales in American folklore. We've journeyed through the grim history of Salem, and tonight we're going to dive into a story shrouded in mystery and dread. Prepare yourselves as we explore the spine-tingling legend of the Bell Witch, a tale that has haunted the American South for centuries. This is not just a story of eerie disturbances and spectral appearances, but a chilling account of vengeance and fear that plagued a family in the early 1800s. The Bell Witch legend is steeped in supernatural terror, and its dark secrets continue to captivate and unsettle to this day.
Ooh, something that I just realized about myself. Southern and East Coast horror stories
are just so much worse.
They're so much worse. East Coast because of the Appalachian. We talk about that in another episode. Mm-hmm. That's terrifying. But the South, if something is spooky enough to make a redneck scared, I'm terrified. I'm terrified. If I see a redneck running, I'm running.
Same.
Unless they're running with a gun to something.
And then no.
No, I don't want to know what they're going to shoot. It could be Bubba the Gator. It could be something else. I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm. So, in the early 19th century, the remote landscape of Robertson County, Tennessee, was home to the Bell family, who had recently moved onto a sprawling 320-acre farm.
I wonder what that's like.
I wish. That sounds amazing.
Right? Ooh, property tax. No thanks.
Not in this day and age.
Hmm.
So, John Bell, the patriarch, had a reputation for being a hardworking and honorable man, while his wife Lucy was known for her warmth and kindness. Their children, including their eldest daughter Betsy, were cherished members of the community, contributing to the family's well-respected status. The Bells' idyllic life took a sinister turn in the fall of 1817. It began with a peculiar occurrence that seemed almost innocuous. Unexplained rustling in the cornfield, a sense of being watched, and eerie noises that seemed to drift on in the wind. One evening, John Bell experienced a strange and frightening sight while working on his cornfield. A creature appeared, larger than a normal dog, with glowing eyes and an unsettling aura. The spectral beast vanished into the midst before John could investigate further, leaving him with an uneasy feeling that something malevolent had taken root near his home.
He was going to investigate further? I'm going to investigate an exit route. Like, no. Okay, people are built
This
different.
is also
back
a
then.
man in the 1800s.
To have the confidence of a man in the 1800s, a property-owning man in the 1800s.
Yes. As autumn deepened, the disturbances within the Bell home grew more frequent and intense. At first, the noises were sporadic. Faint scratching sounds like claws dragging against the wall. These soon escalated to more disturbing phenomena.
That wasn't disturbing enough?
Apparently not. The Bell family would hear the sounds of chains dragging across the floor, a noise that seemed to come from nowhere and also everywhere simultaneously. It was as though an invisible force was at work, deliberately causing chaos within their home. The entity's focus soon shifted to Betsy Bell, who began to experience unexplained and painful attacks. Her suffering was not limited to physical pain. She also endured psychological torment. At night, she would be plagued by vivid, horrifying nightmares that left her screaming in terror. The invisible hands that pinched and slapped her left bruises and red marks, but no one could see or catch the tormentor.
Okay, like first I'm like, maybe we got some paranoid schizophrenia. Okay, it left marks?
It left marks. Which reminded me of The Conjuring. Do you remember that?
Hell no.
Like where she would wake up with like these ginormous bruises on her body.
Actually, I did not watch The Conjuring. I was subjected to Insidious 1 and 2.
I didn't watch those.
Yeah, in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. Nope.
No.
Yeah. As I've said in other episodes, I can deal with a murderer better than I can deal with a ghost, because you can punch, shoot, stab, or kill a murderer. What can you do to a ghost?
Piss it off.
Exactly. And I don't want to know what a pissed off ghost can do, because maybe it's just make me have a bad hair day, or maybe it's...
Ted, please don't show us.
Hypothetical, I'm not looking for answers. I can be ignorant. I don't want to know.
Guys, my house was built in the early 1900s. It's haunted.
I thought you were like 1850. No.
1906?
There's someone I know whose house was built in 1884.
A lot of houses around here are from the 1800s.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just found out they have lead in their paint,
Yeah.
like on the radiators and stuff.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, they found it out when one of their nieces was picking at the paint and eating it.
Oh, God.
She's
That's not
okay
good.
now, but
Okay. Well,
yeah, that was not a good thing. If you live in an old home, be cautious of some of the older items.
lead and asbestos.
Yeah, they did not give a flying F about anything back in those
Well,
days.
they
but
also didn't know.
Ignorance is bliss.
It is.
Anyway, sorry. Pivot.
Right. Going back. Betsy's once bright and joyful demeanor gave way to fear and anxiety as the haunting presence seemed to grow more personal and aggressive. One of the most notable episodes of the Bell Witch's interference involved Betsy's suitor, a young man from the local area. Betsy, a young woman of considerable charm and intelligence, had attracted the attention of this young man, who was deeply interested in courting her. Despite the growing tension and terror within the Bell's household, the suitor continued to visit, undeterred by the unsettling events that surrounded the Bell family. As the courtship progressed, the Bell witch's malevolent attention turned toward the suitor. The entity, known for its cruel and vindictive nature, decided to make a dramatic statement by targeting him directly. The suitor, like the rest of the community, was aware of the strange occurrences at the Bell's home, but he was skeptical about the supernatural explanations and felt confident in his feelings for Betsy.
Young men.
I know. One fateful evening, as the suitor arrived at the Bell home for a visit, he was met with a series of disturbing and inexplicable events. As he approached the house, he was suddenly engulfed in a dense, cold fog that seemed to appear out of nowhere. The fog, thick and eerie, made it difficult for him to see and navigate. His attempts to enter the home were thwarted by a force that seemed to physically push him back, as if an invisible barrier was preventing his entry. Inside the house, the Bell Witch intensified its attacks, using its spectral presence to create a chaotic and frightening atmosphere. The house was filled with the sounds of rattling chains, ghostly wails, and eerie whispers that seemed to come from all directions. The disturbances were so intense and frightening that they overwhelmed the suitor, who was already unnerved by the eerie fog outside. As the night wore on, the situation escalated. The suitor experienced a series of terrifying encounters, including the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes and feeling a cold, malevolent presence closing in on him. The Bell Witch's voice, which had been known to taunt and mock, seemed to be directly addressing him, issuing threats and warnings in a chilling tone. The voice spoke of his impending doom and the futility of his courtship with Betsy, adding a personal and vengeful edge to the haunting. Overwhelmed by fear and unable to endure the relentlessness supernatural assault, the suitor made the decision to leave. His departure was abrupt and marked by a palpable sense of panic. He fled from the Bell home, vowing never to return. The experience had left him shaken and convinced of the supernatural dangers that lurked within the Bell household. The suitor's departure was a significant blow to Betsy Bell, who was deeply affected by the events. The Bell Witch's interference not only disrupted her courtship, but also added to the growing sense of isolation and fear that surrounded the Bell family. The suitor's retreat was a clear indication of the spirit's power and its willingness to go to great lengths to impose its will. John Bell's health started to deteriorate rapidly, and that added to the family's distress. He experienced choking fits that left him gasping for air and a weakness that sapped all of his strength. Despite the efforts of local doctors who were baffled by his condition. John's illness remained mysterious and untreatable. I do want to add this is the 1800s.
I was about to say pretty much everything besides like a clear and evident wound was untreatable.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything was kind of a mystery back then.
Everything was a mystery. But if a woman had an issue, it was because she was hysterical.
Or a
Hysteria.
witch.
Or a witch.
Go see our Salem episode if you haven't seen it yet. So his condition worsened to the point where he was bedridden and his vitality seemingly drained by an unseen force, which obviously we have no idea what he had, what was going on. To me, it kind of sounds like ALS.
Oh, it definitely could be. I was thinking like something wrong with his heart, like maybe a valve's not pumping as it should be, and he's got like stagnant blood or
Could
something.
be like CHF or COPD, but like the whole like
COPD, yeah.
bedridden, seemingly
Cancer.
drained. Yeah, it could literally be anything, but like those are like the first things that pop in my mind. It could be obviously we don't know, no one knows. Just speculating. I know nothing. I'm not a professional.
You are a paramedic. This is not a place to seek medical advice. This is merely here for the curious person who wants to just hear more about stuff. Do not take any of our advice as legal or medical. Please consult a specialist.
Thank you. I love how you can just rattle that off.
Honestly, I was pulling it from the back of my brain. I'm like, what have I seen in my classes thus far? Let's put a preamble here.
Absolutely. I loved it. That was a great job, Connie.
It's like, hey, look at that. Covered bases. Woo!
Yes.
We're not experts. Destroy your life on your own, not from us.
So the Bell family was left in a state of constant dread, unable to escape the malevolent presence that had invaded their lives. ChatGPT likes malevolent.
It does, but malevolent is a wonderful word.
Yes.
I have known a few people named, well, hold on. They had older family that was named Maleficent, like the character from Sleeping Beauty, and they went by Melly. Apparently,
that's cute.
I was like, I actually really love that.
But I would not name a child Maleficent.
I would not want that because I'm like, mal meaning bad, and like my kid's gonna have enough issues to deal with. I'm not trying to add another one on top of that.
No.
I am gonna run their name through the gutter, and if it makes it out clean, they'll get it.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yep, as you should do with names.
Yes. So as the haunting continued, oh, by the way, that reminded me, our last week episode of the
Salem
Witch Trials, the girl's name that both of us were like, how? Oh,
Goody?
It?
No, not Goody.
No, the 4-year-old.
Oh,
Dorothy, but it was, what was her actual name?
I'm thinking Dorothea, but that's not right.
I have to go back because this is pertinent to what we're talking about right now. Dorcas.
Oh.
So I was editing that, and Mitch, my husband, was here in the chair that I'm sitting at. I was editing over in our dining room, and because both of us are like, that's unfortunate. Like, I'm glad she went by Dorothy. He's like, I knew a couple Dorcases growing up. I was like,
as a first name?
As a first name, and they went by Dorcas. So I apologize if we offended any of you, but like...
Yeah, our goal is never to offend on this channel, unless you're Bella Swan or Edward Cullen.
And they don't exist, so like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, apologies.
I know.
I really did not think that was a name anymore.
I didn't either. Dorcas? Really?
Yeah. So, back to our story.
Back to Dorcas.
Not to Dorcas.
Back to beyond Dorcas.
Back to the Bell family.
There we go.
As the haunting continued, the Bell family sought help from their neighbors and community leaders. The story of their suffering spread throughout Robertson County, sparking a mixture of fear and fascination. The entity began to identify itself as Kate Batts, a local woman who had died some years earlier. According to the local legend, Kate Batts had a not so great relationship with John Bell. Whether it was due to a dispute over land, personal grievances, or debts, Kate had reportedly cursed John before her death, vowing to haunt him from beyond the grave. The Bell Witch, as she came known to be, seemed to fulfill that curse with relentless and vengeful spirits. These disturbances grew more dramatic. The entity's voice, which seemed to come from the walls, floors, and even the air itself, became a central feature of the haunting. This voice spoke with a mocking tone, revealing personal secrets and making scathing remarks about the family's past. It taunted them with knowledge of their fears and grievances, its words dripping the sinister with a sinister amusement. The voice's ability to penetrate the family's most private moments and insecurities added a layer of psychological terror to the already frightening experience. The Bell Witch's influence extended beyond the Bell home. The disturbance followed by the family to social gatherings, church services, and other public spaces.
Did other people hear it? Sorry.
During church services, inexplicable noises and disturbances would disrupt the congregation, amplifying the sense of unease throughout the community. So it wasn't just them.
Wasn't just them, and the ghost was strong enough to interrupt church?
Mm-hmm. Right?
No.
Yeah.
Nope. Mm-mm.
The spirit seemed to revel in spreading fear and causing chaos wherever the Bell family went, contributing to the legend's growing prominence. John Bell's final days were marked by increasing desperation. His condition worsened and he was confined to his bed, his once strong body reduced to a frail shadow of its former self. Very distracting. The Bell family lived in constant fear, their once secure home now a place of relentless terror. The entity's presence seemed to grow more palpable and menacing, its voice growing more assertive and mocking its interactions with the family. A dramatic turn occurred when a vial of strange liquid was discovered on the Bell's property. The liquid was believed to be a form of poison, an ominous sign of the spirit's malevolent intentions. Whether the liquid was supernatural substance or a more earthly poison remains a subject of debate. However, its presence confirmed the community's fear that the Bell Witch was directly responsible for John Bell's suffering and eventual death. John Bell passed away in December of 1820, his death a grim conclusion to the torment that plagued his family for years. The haunting did not immediately cease with John Bell's death. Reports of disturbances continued, though they had gradually diminished over time. The spirits purportedly announced that it would return in 7 years, but whether it did or not remains a matter of speculation and legend. The Bell Witch's influence faded into a local folklore, leaving behind a legacy of fear and intrigue. The Bell Witch Cave, located near the original Bell homestead, has become a focal point to those drawn into the legend. The cave, a natural limestone formation with dark, winding passages, excludes an aura of mystery and dread. Its cold, damp air and labyrinth corridors contributed to an eerie atmosphere that seemed to echo the tales of the Bell Witch. Visitors of the cave often report strange occurrences, disembodied voices, sudden drops in temperature, and unsettling sensations that suggest the lingering presence of the malevolent spirit. Guided tours of the cave recount the chilling history of the Bell family and the supernatural events that transpired. The cave's reputation as a haunted location adds to its allure, attracting paranormal enthusiasts and curious visitors from across the country. Some report feeling an inexplicable sense of being watched or hearing strange noises, adding to the cave's mystique. Today, the Bell Witch Cave stands as a testament of the enduring legacy of the Bell Witch legend. And that is our story of the Bell Witch.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going in that cave. That's just not happening.
Are you sure?
I can't describe to you how sure I am.
I can show you what it looks like.
I am actually curious what it looks like.
And if you guys want to see what it looks like, you can pop on over to our Instagram because it will be over there.
That's right. Insta.
Insta. So that's the outside.
No.
It doesn't look that bad.
See, I have this thing about caves, though.
I know, I'm not a big fan. There's an older picture of it.
That's even more of a no.
The older picture does look more creepy. And then this is the Bell's house.
Oh, that's creepy as hell.
It's the Bell's house.
That's creepy as Bell.
That picture was taken in 1909 of the house. I don't know where the other ones were. And I do want to mention that those pictures are from spooked.com, spookt.com.
You've been spooked.
So all those pictures, that's where those are coming from. But yeah, so make sure you're following us on all of our social medias. We are currently on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram, all at Chaos Chronicles Podcast. And that's Chronicles with an S.
Well, it's podcast with an S. No, it's
not. It's not.
It's Chronicles with an S.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm just still the spooky ookie of the.
Yes, but we have a very exciting lineup this month. So make sure that you come back because our next 3 episodes, in my opinion, are even more spooky.
More spooky. His eyes are locked on something that I can't see. There's a cat next to me, guys.
Yeah, he does that.
Okay.
Ted's probably chilling with us listening to ghost stories.
Ted, is there a ghost YouTube? Can you subscribe? Please? Refer your friends. Not to where we physically are, but just subscribe.
Yeah, please don't welcome more ghosts into my home, Connie.
Not an invitation. No consent. Bad. This is a house of God. I think. I don't know. There's a cross somewhere. There we go. Did the Bells have a cross?
I have no idea. But they attended church, so I guess that doesn't mean much.
I was going to say, that's like attending a lecture. If you don't do the reading and you don't pay attention, are you really learning anything?
Not really.
Yeah. You don't learn by osmosis. Be nice if you did. I know. Fall asleep on a book and you wake up understanding and being able to apply it.
I swear that's Mitch.
Why does that not surprise me in the least?
Anyways, yeah, so we will either catch you next week for our 3rd episode of our Spooky Ookie month or on Saturday for our next couple chapters of New Moon.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for joining us here. And if you don't hear from us, it's because the ghost got us.
Don't say that.
I'm putting out a warning so the ghosts will think twice because now there's people accountable to us.
I just realized, why are we doing Spooky Ookie month in my house? Why did we start recording in my house during Spooky Ookie month?
Why did we? Because we got Beatrice to leave my house.
We didn't think this through, Connie.
We did not think this through. Subscribe for our suffering.
Wish us luck.
Oh no.
What if we just gave Ted ideas?
Let's hope that Ted is as thick as a rock.
And not literally, Ted.
No. We like you thus far.
Knock on wood. Please be nice. Okay, on that note, we are going
To
to
go buy
go.
rosaries?
Yeah.
Holy water. Can you make holy water out of tap water? Probably can.
A priest can.
Our freaking Google algorithm. Murder, murder, spooky. How to make holy water. Murder, murder, murder.
Bye.
Bye. We're on a watch list. I don't know what type of watch list, but it's a list something.
For sure. Oh gosh.